Hello, Facebook community. I'm Christina Grady-Watts with the ESC of Central Ohio, coming to you live today from the Ohio Department of Transportation headquarters. And I'm thrilled to be joined by Rich Granger, the Managing Director of Workforce and Economic Development at Drive Ohio, and Brianna Agomessou, the Portable Innovation Labs Coordinator at the PASS Foundation. Today, we're going to delve into the realm of Ohio's mobility technology innovations. So, whether you're an experienced professional or at the beginning of your journey, this is a chance to engage, learn, and foster connections. So don't hesitate to drop your questions in the comments, making this session interactive and beneficial for all. So without delay, let's jump into the Q&A. Rich, can you share some insights about Drive Ohio, including its mission and vision?
For sure. Well, thanks for being here. Welcome to ODOT, and I can talk all about Drive Ohio. We are an initiative of the Ohio Department of Transportation, created to be the state's center for innovation in advanced mobility. When we talk about advanced mobility, we're talking about drones, we're talking about self-driving vehicles, we're talking about electric vehicles and charging station technology, and then all of the infrastructure that supports all that. So our job is to help work with a whole bunch of partners from both the public and private sector to get our infrastructure ready for all of these technologies. But then another part of our mission is to get the workforce ready. And we work with students from pre-K to PhD. We've got a variety of workforce programs. That's my role at Drive Ohio. And as we talk here today, you'll hear more about our Drive Ohio Educator Toolkit, which is where we pull all those resources together for K-12 educators.
Excellent, thanks. Bree, so for folks that don't know about the PASS Foundation, why don't you tell us a little bit about the PASS Foundation and some of its goals and the work that you do there?
Yeah, of course. So once again, my name is Brianna Agomessou. I'm the Portable Innovation Lab Coordinator at the PASS Foundation. And at PASS, we are an educational nonprofit, and we do a plethora of things. So sometimes this question's a little hard because it's like we do so much stuff in the community. But a lot of the things that we're really focused on are linking learning to life. So we focus a lot on working with educators, like professional development. We work with students. We have our student experience team. So we have summer camps in the summer where we impact thousands of students every year. We do STEM days with schools. We go out into the community, do different community events. So you've probably seen us somewhere. Even if you didn't know exactly who we are, you'll probably see us. But specifically, our new thing that we're doing are Portable Innovation Labs, which was funded by Patel, so that's really nice. We're able to create free resources for educators to utilize. So, yeah.
Great, thanks. So you might be wondering, why do we have Drive Ohio and someone from the PASS Foundation together? Well, that's because there is a partnership that has formed between these two organizations, and I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, in a lot of ways, this builds on collaboration we've had many times over the years. Most recently, as we've been rolling out this educator toolkit, we found that a lot of our curriculum in the toolkit, which we'll describe as we get into it here, really dovetailed nicely with the Portable Innovation Lab. So Bree and I connected, and we started talking about ways to start building kits together, and it kind of went from there, right?
Yeah, so it was a natural partnership, just like Rich was saying. So it was like the supplies and the things that we already had, and then some of the curriculum that Rich's team had already created, perfectly tied together, and we just expanded upon that. Anytime we get together in a meeting, we schedule our meetings for like 30 minutes, and we end up spending like an hour and a half talking about all the cool ideas that we have, and we're ideas people. That's what we always talk about, so we're definitely making those ideas come true, though.
And did you say these are free?
Yes, these are free, no strings attached. That's my big thing that I always have to stress. Completely free.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So I'm excited to hear more about Drive Ohio's educator toolkits and the PASS Portable Innovation Labs. So tell us a little bit about the nitty-gritty of these resources.
Sounds good. Well, the educator toolkit has several different pieces to it. And it's all free online. And one of the things we learned was if you need equipment, that's where these labs come in. So that's where we can extend the free to cover everything, right? So we'll get to that part. As far as the different pieces of the educator toolkit, we've got curriculum, we've got professional development, we've got things like career connections resources to help students and educators engage on all those topics. So when we say curriculum, we're talking about different grade bands, we're talking about standards aligned activities and learning opportunities. that tie into these different pieces. So we've got one that's focused on drones and vertiports. We've got another one that's focused on delivery robots and electric vehicles, and then we blended all that together into something we call the Smart City Adventure. So all that information is out on our website. If you just go to drive.ohio.gov/toolkit, we'll make sure those links are available for this video afterwards as well. You can download all that for free. When we talk about career connections, we're having webinars with employers, conversations much like this, where we talk about what it takes to succeed as a drone pilot or someone working in the self-driving vehicle test industry, a place like Transportation Research Center and Ease Logistics. We sat down with those folks. Again, all that's recorded. It's on our website. It's free, whether you're using that for your own professional development, for contact hours, or you're sharing it with your students. Those kind of resources are out there. For professional development, we've hosted webinars, much like the forum you see here. Again, those are recorded. Many of those have been done in close collaboration with PAST. You can find that on our website. Again, eligible for contact hours and CEUs. So that's what's out there today, and we'll talk later, I'm sure, about what's coming for the next school year. But that's the toolkit in a nutshell.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, that's amazing. So with our Portable Innovation Lab, sometimes known as PILs, they are completely free resources for educators to borrow from us. So kind of like a library lending system is what we like to think of it. So it comes with curriculum that is standard aligned. We have things from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. I've even had people ask if they can use it with adults. So maybe we'll see more of expansion that way too. But definitely free curriculum that's standard aligned, and it comes with all the supplies you need. So you pick it up from us, return it to us, use it in your classroom, however you want. Some people are even using it with their summer camps. Nonprofits are available to use it as well, and private schools. So there's no restrictions on who can use them, just as long as you're making an impact on students. So yeah.
That's great. What a wonderful resource. So Rich, you mentioned that toolkits are aligned with advanced mobility. Can you explain what advanced mobility is and why it's important?
For sure. So any good workforce program ties itself to job opportunities, right? And so when we talk about drones, for example, you've got a small drone sitting here on the tabletop, right? You've got larger ones that maybe take 2 people to lift, and then you've got these really big electric aircraft that are being developed and tested right here in Ohio, and soon they will be built here in Ohio. So for that example, there's a company called Joby Aviation that announced within the past year in Dayton they're going to be setting up a manufacturing facility. They're already getting the facility set up. They took over the old post office at Dayton International Airport. They're adding a brand new building. They'll have up to 2,000 jobs out there building electric air taxis. So that definitely gets your attention. Staying in the central Ohio area, Honda announced a battery plant that's almost open down in Jeffersonville in Fayette County off of 71. They are getting ramped up to hire down there. There's 2,000 more jobs. So just with those 2 sites, that's 4,000 smart mobility jobs coming to the central Ohio and western Ohio region, not far from where you might be tuning in from here. And we want to help everyone get ready for those jobs, because some of them can be with an associate's degree, it can be with just some technical certificates. Others might require a 4-year degree, but you can maybe build your way up to that. And all of this is in alignment with a statewide auto and advanced mobility workforce strategy led by the Governor's Office of Workforce Transformation and the Ohio Manufacturers Association. If you go to workforce.ohio.gov, you can find that strategy and check it out. And it's not just a nice report. This is being implemented statewide. Every 2 weeks, we've got multiple state agencies meeting to build resources that educators can use. We've got the Department of Education and Workforce involved with developing bundles of industry-recognized credentials that can get you to your 12-point graduation requirement. That could be drone pilot. It could be electric vehicle fundamentals. So we're taking all these jobs, we're translating it into curriculum and credentials and tying it all together so students can go right into the workforce potentially with these opportunities.
That's just an exciting time to be in Central Ohio and in education specifically, lots of opportunities. So Bree, kind of piggybacking on that, how have these resources, how are they making a difference for students and teachers?
Yeah, for sure. So I get a lot of feedback from educators that their students are also talking about jobs that they never thought about. So kind of going with what you're saying, that's one of the biggest things we hope that impacts the students with the collaboration with like our drones and vertiport and our smart city, is that students are being able to be exposed to careers that they probably didn't know even existed. Even when I talk to Rich, he tells me new things. I'm like, we do that? We have that here?
Right.
And I'm like, my knowledge is even gaining. Even with educators, they're like, I didn't know that existed. I didn't know that we were having all those things come to Central Ohio and around this area. So definitely being able to make an impact with students in their future, because we want students to be problem solvers, future ready, right? We want them to be able to go into the workforce one day and be prepared for the ever-changing world. So hopefully that's what our labs are doing for those students, getting them prepared for new ideas and topics, and definitely becoming better problem solvers, especially using things like the design thinking cycle. That's really big with our curriculum. So that's kind of the structure of our curriculum in total. Really teaching students that you use the design thinking cycle every day, even when you're not thinking about it. You go through problem solving without actually being like, oh, I'm brainstorming how to solve this problem. You just brainstorm. You research, you get on your phone, you Google things, you learn how to fix your own problems. And that's exactly what they're doing with these labs, is learning how to make sure that they're implementing this, not just like in their everyday life, but like even in their school career and then future, their actual career. So, yeah.
What I might add is when we've teamed up on this drone activity, so I've used the word vertiport a few times. Think of that like a drone airport where these things can take off and land. And that's a real piece of infrastructure that we're designing. One has been built at Springfield Airport already in Ohio. And when we get the students together to do this build activity, it's fun. A, it's fun to watch, and B, they don't want to stop.
Yeah.
Like when we say, time's almost up, let's do some drone flights, which you would assume is the most exciting part, they're almost disappointed that they have to stop building stuff. So it's very hands-on, interactive. We're asking them to imagine what their own community might look like. We've done this with like Girl Scouts, and they were doing imaginary cookie deliveries with drones and stuff like that. I mean, and the same kind of deal with these robots. You can say, well, hey, this kind of reminds me of that delivery robot I see on the OSU campus. And I mean, the minute I'm we're with students and we talk about that, their hands shoot up, they want to talk about this stuff. So they're engaged right off the bat. And then to Bree's point, we can kind of unveil these sort of hidden careers. City planning, right? Who thinks about that? But that's a very, exciting job with a lot of opportunity, and it pays well. And when we do this Smart City Adventure that was inspired by some educators like our friends in Reynoldsburg who did Smart Reynoldsburg every year, they still do it with third graders. The Smart Columbus program did a middle school program at the Metro School. All that curriculum is freely available from those educators. They get all the credit, but you get all the content. It's published through our curriculum. So you can go find those planning resources, line it up with your social studies curriculum, and maybe you've got a future city planner in your classroom or in your after school or summer program. Who knows?
Yeah, that's great. So how can educators get their hands on these kind of resources?
Yeah,
you mentioned that they can. But...
Yeah, so our portal, thank you for bringing that back. So to be able to use our Portable Innovation Labs, it's on the passfoundation.org website, and it's a reservation system. When you get on the website, you can just search Portable Innovation Labs in our search bar, and there's nothing that you have to put in, like no card information or nothing. It's all completely free. We're just going to ask a few questions like name, school, amount of students you have, and that helps us be able to also give you adequate amount of resources. We have over 20 different labs, and by the end of this summer, before next fall, we're going to be up to 40. So, and that these will be included in that 40. So we have a lot of new exciting stuff. So if you see something right now and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can tie this in, wait until the fall, and we're going to have a plethora of other activities too. So, yeah.
And then on Drive Ohio, you have the toolkit.
Yep, same idea. If you go to our website, drive.ohio.gov/toolkit, there'll be a simple registration form. Again, just some basic contact information so we can keep sending you the latest updates to our curriculum. Everything in there is free, and you can then get in and see the different pieces of curriculum. What you see in there is the 2023-24 school year version. Mm-hmm. We've got a team of interns just through that wall over there working away on the updates this summer. So we'll have a 2024-25 version of the toolkit that's available online later this summer. It'll have everything you see today, plus some new activities, new curriculum, new pieces, with even more information about how this lines up with standards and industry recognized credentials.
Nice. So as we close out the conversation today, can you both talk a little bit about the vision for this partnership in the upcoming years?
Yeah, of course. So we definitely think that this will just continue to expand. Like I said, Rich and I are both ideas people. We have too many ideas to stop with it anytime soon. We have things that we've planned out even just for these that I'm like, we have to start somewhere. That's at the end of every conversation, we're like, we have to start here. But we know we have things to continue to expand. So continue to expand the labs that we have, like the Drones and Vertiport and the Smart City, and creating new ones. So yeah.
We've talked about things that look more like a board game. There's actually already kind of a high school level board game that's part of this. We've talked about maybe bringing that into a younger age group. Watch for more activities around electric vehicles and battery technology.
Yes.
I'm telling you, battery is our 21st century global challenge for everybody, and we aren't even close to having that completely figured out. While electric vehicles are safe, reliable, and available today, the better batteries are going to help them charge faster and become even more sustainable. And students who are in elementary school today are going to be the technicians and engineers that help us solve that problem within the next 5 or 10 years. So we'll definitely have activities like that. And we're also looking at ways to kind of imagine the student experience across multiple grade levels. We just in the past week, we met with over 100 teachers. I mean, we were all over the place last week at all these different professional development events, workshops, conferences. One of the great ideas we were hearing from brainstorming with some teachers is how can we get a few different grade levels working together to build a city or something like that. So that could become a new feature in a future version of all this.
I love that. Well, I would love to be in on your conversations just to hear the excitement and the ideas.
Yeah, of course.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today. And if you're an educator, an industry partner, or a post-secondary organization, and you're interested in sharing or highlighting some of your work related to workforce or work-based learning opportunities in Central Ohio, simply click on the link that will be shared in the notes of this video, and we'll get in contact with you soon. Thank you so much for joining us today.